Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatam and Shemaratham. So, welcome to another lesson. All right. I am going to hook you guys up with something special today. All right. So, first and foremost, I'd like to give our honor, glories, and praise to Yahweh by Shem Yahshua. And I am Brother Ikra from the Sons of Thunder. Da-da-da. Check this out. I am going to give you guys a little bit a prelude to the Feast of Dedication that we'll be hosting. So, this is a Bible school, so take your notes, get them ready. Get your pen, paper, get your Bible, get your Apocrypha, because I'm just going to bring out a few things that I believe that is really important for the people to know for the Feast of Dedication. Now, we all understand that we're going to be in Apocrypha for the most part, but we're going to be all over the place as well with the Bible. So, we're going to be hosting the Feast of Dedication, as a matter of fact, tomorrow. But I don't want to set a date because you should be able to watch this anytime for any year that the dedications come around. So, and with that, let's get started. So, you can find the Feast of Dedication in the book of First Maccabees, and you can read that in chapter 4. Now, to get a whole understanding, you need to read pretty much all the chapters all the way up to chapter 4. But what I wanted to bring out as a lesson is going to be on your temple, because this is the dedication of the temple. But we all know who the temple is. It is us. The temple is within us.
What?
All right. So let's get some understanding. Let's dive right on into this. I won't be long, I promise you, but it should be good. I believe it's going to be really edifying, and I pray that it is for everyone. Okay. So first thing is first, I'm going to bring you to the book of Maccabees, chapter 4, and I will start at verse 36. I think that's a good place to start. Then said Judas and his brethren, Behold, our enemies are discomfited. Let us go up to cleanse and dedicate the sanctuary. All right. So, this is where the beginning of what the Maccabees was actually going to be doing as far as rededicating the temple. All right. So now, I'm going to go ahead and keep going with this to get more understanding of what I'm about to bring out. Verse 37, I'll just read in order. And upon this all, the hosts assembled themselves together and went up into Mount Zion. And when they saw the sanctuary desolate, and the altar profane, and the gates burned up, and the shrubs growing in the courts, as in a forest, or in one of the mountains, yea, and the priest's chambers pulled down, they rent their clothes and made great lamentation, and cast ashes upon their heads, and fell flat down to the ground upon their faces, and blew an alarm with the trumpets, and cried toward heaven. So, as you can see at this point, the temple was desecrated. It was left to just be on its own. There was no one tending to it. So, if you can think about it, our temples, as we were in this wilderness of right now, this is how our bodies were before we said we woke up to this truth, right? So you can think about it like this. We have been through so much in our lives. Unless you were born luckily to be born into this truth, a lot of us wasn't. So we end up waking up into this. So in the meantime, our temples are a wreck. All right, moving on. And I'm going to go down, let's skip down to verse 47. Then they took whole stones according to the law, and built a new altar according to the former, and made up the sanctuary, and the things that were within the temple, and hollowed the courts. They made also new holy vessels, and into the temple they brought the candlestick, the altar of burnt offerings, and the end of incense, and the table. And upon the altar they burned incense, and the lamps that were on the candlestick they lighted, and that they might give light in the temple. Furthermore, they set the loaves upon the table and spread out the veils and finished all the works which they had begun to make. So, and with that, just let you know how they decided to cleanse the temple, put things back together, and put it back in order. That's what we're trying to do. We need to get ourselves back in order. We're always out there in the highways and the byways to try to let people know, to wake them up to who they are. But once you realize who you are, there's some things you need to do. I.e., you need to rededicate yourself. Rededicate your temple back to the Most High. All right? And I'll bring in also, turning the page, I am going to same chapter, we're in still chapter 4. And I will start with verse 60. In that time also they built up the Mount Zion with high walls and strong towers round about, lest the Gentiles should come and tread it down, as they had done before. And they set there a garrison to keep it, and fortify Besurah to preserve it, that the people might have a defense against Idumea. Well, that's what we're doing right now. We need to get our temples, not only we need to cleanse it, rededicate it, but make it a strong garrison so that nothing can come up against us, our temple, especially the heathen, especially from Idumea, especially with the things that they're trying to bring out these days, from all the different chemicals they want to put into us. Hey, just going to say, take care of your temple, guard it. All right? So, let's get into this. So, let's get into the first book of Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16. Chapter 3, verse 16. So, let's do this, Israel. Let's find out the different ways of how we should do it, why we should be doing this, and what the temple truly is. A lot of us really don't even think about ourselves as being a temple. We think of ourselves as just ourselves, truly. It's our bodies. We say we need to take care of it. You only get one. That is true. But at the same time, we know that the Most High is supposed to be dwelling with us. He's supposed to sup with us. He's supposed to be here. But we can't do that if our temple is still trash. If it's still full of junk, it's still in the wilderness. We need to clean it up. All right? And let's rededicate it and give it back to the Most High. He woke you up. Let's get it right. Get it back in order and hook him up. So, 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16 through 17. All right. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of the Most High, him shall the Most High destroy. For the temple of the Most High is holy, which temple ye are. So, now you know that you're supposed to be that temple. You're that ultimate temple. So you need to, it's just like when you have company come over. How do you want company to come to your house if your house is a wreck? See, I remember, and we even still do it to this day, we always say, hey, please excuse the mess. Right? We invite people. Sometimes they show up unannounced. Well, if people do show up unannounced, you better hope that that's not the day you decide to not have done your laundry, not mop the floors, not done your dishes. Bathroom's a mess, smells, whatever the case may be. You got your dirty shoes all over the place, right? Take care of your temple. You never know who's going to come to visit you, right? Moving on. Let's go ahead and get the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 6, and verse 16. 2 Corinthians, chapter 6, and verse 16 through 18. And it reads, and what agreement hath the temple of God with idols? Think about it. We need to get the idols out of ourselves. What are we putting before the Most High? Is it your children? Your job? Fill in the blank. It could be anything. Your PlayStation. Could it be a hobby? Could it be anything? Anything you put before the Most High, that's an idol. Reading on. For ye are the temple of the living God. As the Most High has said, I will dwell in them. Remember that. He said, I would dwell in them. But for some reason, some other people is trying to rebuild a third temple, which is we need to be rebuilding that third temple within ourselves. So it says, I would dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their most high, their power, and they shall be my people. And we all know who his people are. So-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. The so-called who is the 12 tribes of Israel. All right. Moving on, reading on. Verse 17. Wherefore come out from among them and be ye separate. That's how you start to get your temple to be separate. Okay? You're pulling yourself away from them. You're pulling yourself away from the idols. You're pulling yourself away from everything that is corruptible and evil. All right? See if the says Yahweh, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. So we got to stay away from those unclean things. We got to take care of our bodies. We are supposed to keep the dietary laws, right? And we're supposed to just keep the laws in general. So why aren't we doing that? He needs to do it. He wants to come and visit and live with you. He wants to be. If you had an Airbnb and you knew that the Most High was coming, you would make sure that Airbnb was immaculate. So make it immaculate. All right. Reading on, verse 18. And will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, saith the Lord Almighty. Okay? That's what we're supposed to try to do. Let's clean it up. We are so consumed with life. We're so consumed with everything else but the kingdom first. Let's rededicate ourselves, our temple, back to the Most High. All right? So let's go ahead and go to the book of Ephesians. Book of Ephesians, chapter 2, verse 21. 2 and verse 21. And we're going to go down to verse 22. And it reads, in whom all the building fitly framed together groweth unto an holy temple in the Lord. In whom ye also are built together for a habitation of the Most High through the Spirit. This is how we supposed to do it. Imagine he's like your roommate. He wants to dwell within you. Who wants to come and live with you and you're funky, you're dirty, you're nasty, you're full of idols? You see, you still got crab on your breath. You think someone wants to come and dwell with you when you're wicked? We're supposed to flee from all manners of evil. So why would he come and dwell within you if you're just being still wicked? All right. That's why he says we are framed. We are built for this. He wants to be with us. So let's clean up and rededicate this thing. So before we can even dedicate the temple, we got to clean house. Spring clean, fall clean, summer clean, every clean you can think of. Spick and span, top to bottom, paint the walls, dust the ceiling, get the cobwebs out, okay? Pull the weeds. Let's go to 1 Peter. And like I said, I'm going to try to be quick with this. Let's keep it moving, but it's real short and sweet to the point, right? Let's get this temple in order. 1 Peter 2 and 5. This is 1 Peter 2 and 5. And it reads, ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to the Most High by the Hamashiach Yahushua. That's what he wants. A spiritual house, a holy priesthood to offer up those spiritual sacrifices. That's what he wants. He don't want someone to try to offer up some sacrifices and you dirty. That's like you trying to serve people a delicious meal and your hands are dirty. If you look like you've been playing in the mud and you come to someone and you have a gorgeous meal, some people are just going to be like, I don't want that. I don't have nothing to do with that. As a matter of fact, because I think even your forks and your spoon might look like it's dirty, I don't trust anything that you're possibly serving because something else could be dirty and nasty. So now you're going to make them feel uncomfortable. So they can be like, you know what, that's okay. We'll just go eat somewhere else. All right. So let's keep it going. Let's go to Matthew. Book of Matthew. So let's bring some of these things out because we tend to get so caught up in then just doing these holy days, our feast days. We're trying to rehearse these righteous acts, but we need to have a deeper understanding of not just why, but what's the proper way of doing it. Okay? So, Matthew chapter 5, verse 14. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 14. We're going through 16. And it reads, "Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid." You know how sometimes you can come in, say, Las Vegas or even New York, and you can see it from a far off distance. You can be coming from, even on an airplane, you getting close. You see all the lights. But this is how our temple is supposed to be as well. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set in a hill cannot be hid. We are a true light. Neither do men light a candle and put it on a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. And that's what we're supposed to be. We are a light. But what good is your light if you only be like a 4-watt bulb? Because you don't have that much power. You don't have that much energy. You don't have anything really to show. And then besides that, have you ever tried to see a light through a dirty glass? Have you ever seen light to try to pass through something that is like really filtering? It doesn't shine. It doesn't give its power out. So we got some things we need to do. Verse 16. "Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works." Good works. And you should know what the works are. "And glorify your Father which is in heaven. Think not that I come to..." That's it. That's all I want to go to was verse 16. "So let your light shine before men that you may see your good works." You know you're supposed to be keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay? That's why you having to pay attention to what you're doing. All right? You need to be able to show the people your works. Now, what's the next one I'm going to bring out? Let's go ahead and get Romans 12. Romans 12 and 1. I'm trying to keep this short and sweet so you all can enjoy the dedication and give you an opportunity to clean yourselves before you rededicate. All right. Romans 12, 1 through 2. And it reads, "I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service." Your body is going to be a living sacrifice. "And be not conformed to this world." This is why we keep wanting to say, you got to come out of her. We have to be different. We need to change. We need to do things and be separate. Okay? "But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High." This is what you need to do. How can we say we want to dedicate something back to the Most High if we still junk? We still thinking of carnality. We still thinking of wickedness. We still are being perverted. We still doing the things that are so filthy. We're just number filthy rags. What's the point of trying to offer up a sacrifice and you're dirty? Not only you got to clean your temple, it also includes in your mind. Everything needs to be renewed. That's why you just can't sit there and just say, I'm only going to clean one particular room of the whole house. It's like when the whole house is dirty. You're not going to do that. You need to take care of the whole thing. You're not going to paint half the house. This is like washing your car. Why would you wash your car? You got it all nice and detailed, but then you open the door and it smells like cigarette smoke. You got ashes everywhere. You got chips in the back seat. You got trash everywhere. You can't even see out the windows. You got fingerprints all over the place. It's like, come on. It can be really beautiful on the outside, but the inside is trash. No one's wanting to ride with you. I'm just saying. Let's move backwards to Psalms. I'm going to go to Psalm 51. That's my psalm right there. The whole book of Psalms is awesome, but I just want to bring out verse 15 through 17. I will repeat, the whole book of Psalms 51 is awesome. I highly recommend you read it, but we're just going to deal with verse 15 through 17. And it reads, O Lord, open thou my lips, and my mouth shall show forth thy praise. For thy desirest not sacrifice, else would I give it. thou desirest not a burnt offering. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart. O God, thou wilt not despise. That's what he wants. Why don't we give him what he asks? Why don't we give him what he wants instead of saying we're going to give him what we only want to let him have? If he says all I want is 10%, give me the best of your 10%. Don't give me what you want me to have. Give him what you're supposed to be, a broken and a contrite heart. Give him that broken spirit. You should be counting on him, calling on him, praising him, magnifying him, glorifying him. Give him supplication. But with a temple that he can sit here and be feeling comfortable. He needs to have a place to say, I would like to go and dwell with you today. If he was to pick up and say, let's go and hang out with such and such. And then he gets there and he's like, oh, I need to change my reservation. You don't want that, Israel. You don't want him to pass you up and say, you know what? I'm going to turn off these lights because it's not worth me staying here. You don't want that. All right. So let's keep it going. 2 Corinthians 7:1. Yes, I am all over the place, but it's for a reason. 2 Corinthians 7:1. I'm just moving with the Spirit that has showed me, and I was just feeling this, and so I'm bringing it out to you. I hope, again, this is being edifying because we don't think about this. We're going through the motions, but let's find out why we're going through it and what's the best way of doing it. Okay? And it reads, having therefore these promises, dearly beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and spirit, perfecting holiness in the fear of the Most High. Perfecting holiness. Cleanse ourselves of the filthiness of the flesh. Purify ourselves. Let's clean up. Get the vacuum cleaner out. Let's start mopping. Let's dust these things. Let's cleanse our spirit. Let's renew it. Let's rededicate our temple to the Most High. We're going to understand what the Maccabees had done in the physical, but spiritually, let's cleanse ourselves. Let's purge ourselves of everything of this evil, wicked nation that has been putting on us. Anywhere you are, the heathens has put so much garbage in us. We're just a walking landfill. Think about it. We got to clean this up. Let's recycle all that garbage and get rid of it. All right. Last but not least, let's go to Isaiah. Isaiah 1:16. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 16. And it reads, wash you, make you clean, put away the evil of your doings from before my eyes. Cease to do evil. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We don't understand how much he longed to be with us. He wants to sup with us. He wants to have a good time with us. He wants to be comfortable being with you, so much so that he can sit there, he can hear your prayers, he can deal with you, he will be willing to bless you. He wants to feel comfortable. Let him be able to kick his shoes off and kick his feet up and be like, this is nice. But are you clean? Have you dedicated yourself back to the Most High? Check yourself. Check your temple. Are you doing enough, Israel? Should you be doing enough? Ask yourself that question. Sometimes maybe help you, the person next to you, say, hey man, I seen a couple of your shoes laying around the door. You might want to pick them up. You never know, company might come through, I'm not saying just call them out on everything, but sometimes we do need help on cleansing our temples. Sometimes it's good to have the company come over and say, hey man, I'll help you out. Clean out the garage. Why not? Oh, you need help with that while I'm here? Why not? It's the same thing. So why don't we do that? Let's see what we can do to help one another out, help ourselves. Let's rededicate this temple, Let's put the things in. Let's be that light to the world through a clear lens, through a clear filter. Let's it's good. That's what he wants. He wants a broken, contrite spirit that is longing for him, that's going to give him a good place to dwell, that he can deal with you and hear you. But no one wants to go for a ride in a stank, beat up, broke down loop. No one does. I mean, you can smell the exhaust. No one wants that. No one wants to come to your house in your bathroom, has stains all over the seat. No one wants to come and chill. No one really wants to wash the hand in your sink and it's full of everything from 2 months ago. No one wants that. Even your yard. Yes, even your yard. The outside, you have to paint your house. Clean your sidewalk. Pressure wash something. Do something. Pull the weeds. But rededicate your temple back to the Most High. Give him back what he wants. Give him exactly what he wants. Because he's not asking for much. He just wants you to love him and to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. As we should. Right? Because we keep saying that's what we wanted to do. And so it's coming up for us to do this. So anytime you need to remember, just go back to this video, watch it again. Or share it with someone else. Okay? And don't forget, if you ever get that opportunity, hey, you can follow us. Don't forget. Whenever you get the opportunity, see us on Milk Mondays, Thursday Night Thunder, Friday call in for lessons. We be out there in the streets on Saturdays. We're doing things on the Patreon. We're doing things on the podcast. We're trying to do whatever we can do because of this right here, Romans 10:1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved. So in order for us to do that, we got to put our brakes in. So let's get to work. All right. So with that, Israel, I pray this was edifying. I pray that you all can take this and apply it, because that's what we're supposed to do. Apply what we heard, what we learned. Take your notes. Don't just have them and you just put them down to the side. Actually study them. Meditate on it. And pray. And ask for him to show you what's dirty in your house and then clean it up. All right? So with that, I'd like to give our honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. I'd like to give a hearty shalom. So all the Akim and Akwat out there who's in the highways and the byways, on the computers, and who's on the music, who's doing the children's books, who's doing anything they can do to help push this word, this work, and this truth. All praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. We love you. I'm Brother Ikarab, Sons of Thunder. And on that note, shalom.